Welcome back to the TJ's Kitchen, where today we are going to be cooking one of my favorite weeknight meals, Thai curry, or at least like a very anglicized version, because this is supposed to be a quick meal. I like cooking, but usually on a weekday night, it's about getting some food ready whilst being distracted by small monsters. And so we're going to do this today with partridge. I actually went out and bought some partridge because I ate most of the ones that I harvested in the season. I don't think they're bad value, like £3 each. I don't think that's terrible. I mean, meat is expensive and these are an expensive product to get ready and make look good.
For ingredients, you're gonna need some birds, some garlic, a chunk of ginger, a lime, sweet peppers, onions, baby corn and mange tout, a chicken flavour cube, Thai green curry paste, coconut milk and rice.
So, without further ado, we're going to cook in one pot today, two if you include the rice, and we're going to use as much of this little bird as possible. The key, as we're going to get into, is doing things slowly. So when I say it's like a 20-minute meal, it's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes. The longer you let that simmer in the pot, the more tender and delicious this meat will become. We're going to start with butter because usually I would be using coconut oil, but I haven't got any, and so butter is the answer. We're going to start with garlic today, and then we're going to put onions in, and then we're going to put meat in, then we're going to put the green Thai curry paste in, because that seems like a wise way of doing things. There is literally no rhyme or reason when it comes to cooking these in my head. I think the things you cook on the regular, you don't really have a recipe for, you just kind of go for it. And inherently having a delicious spice mix, fatty delicious coconut milk, and meat with some veg and some sticky rice, I mean, you're not going to go far wrong, are you? There's no point in trying to analysing over perfection with a Thursday night dinner. Don't need to be too fussy with chopping these up small. Hopefully you'll be cooking them for long enough they'll kind of fall apart of their own accord. So let's turn this bad boy on and get cooking. And this is going to be quick, hopefully. Let's turn that one up to 4. I'm not yet used to this, however thousands of meals I've cooked on it at this point in my head. 1. Onions, 2 small brown onions, 1 big one, whatever you want. Inherently, it's whatever I've got left over is the key. Because that's kind of what it's about, right? I always think of like Thai curry as a bit of a stew in itself. Whether that's true or not, I don't entirely know. Bazinga. All right, let them sweat down whilst we move on to the next bit. Put the lid on there. Get rid of some stuff. A clean workspace is a happy workspace, said me never. All right, next up is the partridge. Let's unzip these little bad boys and see what we've got. They smell good. Oh, I'm smelling them. They smell like partridge. They are a more pungent bird. Look at the blood on that bad boy. I probably should have taken them out of their packets to sort of drip dry. Blood often tastes bad, and the more you remove it, soak it, brine it, that's a lot where that gamey taste comes from. When I say gamey, we just mean like flavour, right? All right, so let's start with leggies. 1. 2. That has been shot. I mean, they've all been shot, so it's not really surprising, is it? So we're going to leave that leg off. The thing when it comes to shot game is often it was shot. And so you might have the odd pellet hole in it, and you can be a bit fussy about how nice you want your meat looking. You can be as fussy as you like. Cut as away and trim as away as much as you like. Depends what you're doing, right? Something like this, I don't really want the congealed blood of that leg in there. So we're not going to have it. 1 breast. These are red-legged partridge, or French partridge, or red partridge, or whatever you want to call them. They are the most common partridge you'll buy. We've got 2 species of partridge in England. There's many species of partridge worldwide. When it comes to game cooking, it's the best place to start. I do thoroughly believe that. Pheasants are bigger, just because of the way they're managed and reared. Often they're just a little less tender, and that is sometimes off-putting. So often pheasants will be a little less tender, will take a little bit more attention to detail when cooking. Partridge, you can abuse a little bit more, and that is good when it comes to cooking without too much care and attention, I think, at least. They're much smaller than the pheasant. One each. I got accused the other day of being too generous with meat portions, but I think when you've hunted the meat yourself, aka it's free, it's not free, but you know, I quite like to feast upon it. You can stretch as far as you go. If you really wanted, you could take that carcass, boil it down for stock, pick all the meat off the bones, but we're not going to do that today because it's Thursday night, and echo. Ain't nobody got time for that, as they say. The world is your oyster, but certainly during the season, we could be roasting these, we could do whatever we want with them, but during the season, there's not a glut of partridge, but they are readily available if you go and shoot. So you don't have to be so picky. Not a lot of people just take the breasts off, but actually, I like the legs. You can turn the legs into confit, you can do what you want with them, and the meat on them is quite good, providing you cook it relatively slowly. Cooking them fast will make them bad. More importantly, you will want to go in and pull out the bones and the tendons before you dive into this. Everyone's different, right? I don't mind a little bit of chew, I don't mind a bit of texture, and I don't mind picking through bones to have my food. In fact, I quite like being disgusting and hands-on. It's not the most wonderful table manners in the world. Everyone will be different. If you want to serve up a spoon-feeding dinner, make sure you take out literally everything. Skins are an interesting one. You can take them out, fry them up, and put them in after. I will probably put them in as the first thing just so they get a little browner, crispier, and more cooked than the rest of this food. All right, I'd say that was about us done. So let's pull them skins off and do exactly that. A feather. You'll get feathers. These were once birds. It's fascinating how that works. The breast I am going to dice ever so slightly just into forkable chunks. Extremely forkable chunks. Just to make it easier to eat. Also just allow it to fall apart a little easier, cook a little bit more evenly. Not that we're going to have this undercooked. In fact, with partridge you can zap it over a fire and it's absolutely delicious. One of my favourite barbecuing birds. Is that fair? I think that's fair. That and pigeon are actually great on the barbecue, providing you hit them hard with heat and have them relatively simply done on the inside. Let's whack that bad boy up. First thing in is the breast meat. We're just going to chuck that in. First, mostly so we can get a decent covering of Thai green curry paste. There's about 1,000 options available when it comes to Thai green curry paste. How aromatic you want it is entirely up to you. I don't mind a little bit of heat, although my body usually disagrees. Next thing up is the lime. Chop it in half. Depending on how acidic you want it or how much sugar you want to put in to balance it out, you can actually chuck the half limes in after. Remember that acid is great for tenderizing meat, so having it slightly acidic when it comes to a slightly tougher animal than a chicken. All right, 1, 2, 3, leggies time. Oh, Johnny, you're a cretin. We're supposed to put ginger in there right at the beginning. Now we're gonna have to put it in now. I guess. Going back to what I said earlier, it's okay. It's totally okay. Nobody's judging you when you're cooking at home. They'll only judge you if you put it on Instagram or YouTube. You want your ginger finely chopped. It doesn't actually matter about putting this in first or second. You'll get a slightly different flavor profile if you cook it first with the other stuff, but it doesn't much matter. All right, there we go. That is good enough for me. As soon as you start to see a brown edge coming on this partridge, on the leg meat, you know you're somewhere handy. Put in a tin's worth of coconut milk. Full fat, if you don't mind the calories. Diet if you don't. I quite like it. Thick and juicy. That is about where it is. And now, you turn it down to volume 1. One last little thing would be to add some sugar. I'm not going to add sugar today. We're going to add a little bit of honey. It's basically the same. I know it's not the same, but it's basically the same. Adding a little bit of sugar balances the whole thing out. And well, I don't have it. Sugar is actually preferable for this, but honey's just as good. It's a slightly different flavor profile, but just to look into add some sweetness, counteract the sourness and some of the spice that's already in there. Plus, when it comes to little people, having it sweeter is a massive win. It's like eating semi-spiced pudding. All right, lid on, volume 1, and I'll see you in as long as it takes for it to be nearly dinner time.
An hour has passed. I went off for a Zoom call and came back. So there's about 20 minutes, and you can make this way quicker if you want to wait. Just use the breast meat, not the legs, but then I'll leave it to just sit and marinate. The better. We're now on stage 2. What we're going to do is chuck in a chicken stock cube. We're going to chuck in a splash of soy sauce and just actually get a bit of an earthy umami base to this dish. You don't have to put that much Thai curry paste in there. It is now quite spicy. So we're going to level that off just a little bit. Add a little bit more honey wherever I put. Add a little bit more honey because probably overcooked it might be spice. Not that I have a problem with that. Of course, because I'm a manly man. These legs are starting to look okay. In an ideal world, maybe a little longer would do to help them fall apart, but look at me, I just nibbled them. But apparently that's what not people do, just being told off. Apparently that's what people do. What do you do when you have KFC? But you have a boneless bucket, and you know. I'm going to add another half of the coconut milk. Oh, look at that. And the rest you're going to save to cook the rice in, or would I do more? And so the rice has a very nice cooling effect, depending on whether or not you care about how fat you are. There's about 1 billion calories in here. Let that simmer away whilst we start the next project. First things first, let's get the rice on, shall we? Depending on your personality type, you could measure out how much water you put in there and get it exactly right to the level of rice, or you could just chuck some water in, chuck some rice in, and then hope that you've holistically measured it right. Then the rice. It's a bit then it doesn't look like enough rice. Definitely I overruled it. This is a huge pan, it's an unnecessarily large pan. Definitely made a mistake there. Whether or not you want to add coconut milk is entirely up to you. I quite like it. It's like extra calories, isn't it? Right, next let's chuck our bits in, shall we? And go for gold. Starting with baby corn. Every time I see one of these, I think of that film. Is it Big? Tom Hanks? It is big. Tom Hanks is that you are eating it. I call it gold. Cut these however you like. There's no rules. Do what you want. You want them in rounds, have them in rounds. I like them in fingers because they're just nice. Dangle off the side of a fork nicely. Just takes a bit longer. I mean, it's like people who buy chopped carrots. I mean, I appreciate that there's some speed gained and benefit of on a carrot. A carrot is 7p. Do you know carrot's 7p? What an individual carrot, though, then. 7 pence. It is the world's cheapest vegetable that isn't a potato. I don't know, that's true. But it is quite good. By the way, when it comes to vegetables you add in here, I've got peppercorn, I've got mushroom, I've got peppers. I've added like carbs, you can add if you want rice, or even if you want rice something else, I've chucked potatoes in, I've got cassava in there. Got literally every fruit and vegetable, and not fruit, but vegetable in the world in one of these because, I mean, clear your fridge. The world's a better place with a clear fridge. Clear your fridge, do what you want, as long as it's not like well out of this world.
What would be well out of the world?
Pineapple. Pineapple's out. I'm fairly sure all fruit is out. Not all fruit, most fruit is out. pepper kind of disappears, doesn't it? So, you need to be too crazy about this. But then... Have a taste. I think a wise idea to have a taste. Well, that's quite good. It does need. A little more sweetness.
It's time to throw in the rest of your vegetables. That's the pepper and the mange too, which you can trim the ends off of if you want.
If you're the sort of person who doesn't like bones in their food, it is now the time where you should pull out the legs, it says, if we can find them, and use a couple of forks to strip the meat off and the tendons out and then throw those bits back in. If you want, you can do that before you cook them all. But honestly, I don't mind just throwing them in there, and if it was me, I'd probably put this on at lunchtime and then just let it sit until all that stuff fell off. As you can see, it's just slowly starting to peel off the bone here, and that is exactly what would happen if we left this for a little longer. And then with a couple of forks, you're just going to strip the meat off of these little leggies. It's a pretty successful and easy method. There we go. And that, depending on how picky you are, is that. I mean, oh mate, that is unequivocally exceptional. Throw your bones away and then take your meat and put it back into the pot. All right, here goes nothing. Sticky rice, which is incredibly hard to work with, but it is absolutely delicious, depending on how you like your rice. I'm going to put a little blob on one side, bazinga, and then let's ladle ourselves up some good old-fashioned yummies. It's not old-fashioned, is it? New-fashioned yummies. So the sauce will be quite runny when it's hot, but as it solidifies, it will become mega, as they say. All right. And then I think we're just going to fish ourselves out extra couple of veggies because we can. Bazinga. Guys, that is that. I'm going to eat some. All right, let's go for it, shall we? A bit of that, a bit of that, and one of these. I love it. If you've never had a tiger curry, you have no idea what I've just eaten. If you haven't made one, this is a great place to start. You can make it simpler, you can make it more complicated. If you've ever had a microwave meal one, they suck. This is what it's all about. It should be explosive, it should be nostril clearing, it should be a huge depth of flavors with citrus and chili and yum. You can of course make this with absolutely anything, but Partridge is one of my favorite things to use in this. Chicken always just feels a bit where you've got such a strength of flavor in there, it's the perfect place for using some sort of game meat or something a bit stronger. Partridge is great, pheasant's all right, but it's a little bit slower to cook. You need to be a little bit more careful about your cooking times and temperatures, meaning lower temperatures, longer time. However, on the whole, hey, if it was the only way I ever ate partridge again, I'd feel pretty good. Guys, get after it, make some, tell me what you think. We'll catch you later.